Hello and welcome to a new road trip video. And today we are going to drive far, very far in one day, around 10 hours. It will result in driving around 740 kilometers on Norwegian roads. As you probably know before, there are slow speed limits. And I want to test something on this trip. We are going to drive the longest motorway stretch in Norway, which is from Kristiansand to Lillehammer. And we are also going to drive some side roads. Anyways, it is now early in the morning and I just want to get on the road and then I'll explain more about this trip once we stop to charge, etc. Anyways, we are now outside the Stavanger area, which is a city on the southwestern coast of Norway. We are going to go all the way through Kristiansand, which is the southern city of Norway, the large southern city of Norway, to Oslo, which you probably know, and then further north to Lillehammer, and then up into the mountains, because we are going to a cabin there. Anyways, this is a long stretch. There is a lot of motorway, which is untypical for Norway. It's only really on this stretch that we have these large motorway stretches. There are some other places, but this is the largest, longest continuous 110 kilometers per hour zone in Norway. And I want to show you something that will reduce our efficiency, and that's our roof rack, which we have mounted on top of the car. I also have something else to show you, so I'll just bring the camera outside and then I'll show you, then we'll jump in the car, get on the road, and I'll explain more as we drive. Here is the roof rack, which is now empty, but I need it when we get there. That's why I have it. By the way, here's a trick with Tesla. If you want to keep the climate on and don't want to touch the screen or the app, or you can just click the door halfway in and the climate will stay on. Anyways, we also have some new equipment. This LED bar, which is the Helios CS20 Performance LED bar, which I will show in action as we get through the night. The car is frozen. It's a beautiful morning. We just missed the sunrise, but that's fine. We will get a lot of nice scenery on the road, so I'll just mount the camera and continue explaining what we are going to do. So the first thing we will do is to go to trips here, and we will have the EF trip and we will call it road trip. Save, reset road trip, reset. Now we can see our efficiency here. We are at 38% state of charge, which is low. It recommends charging at the Vikeså supercharger. I hope to visit some other chargers as well, and not just superchargers. But basically, here is the road we are taking. Down to Kristiansand here, up all the way to Oslo, and then up to Lillehammer here, and then up into the mountains. So now it's not that much snow outside, but as we get further north, after we go south, we will get more snow. Anyways, it recommends topping up at the Vikeså, and since this is a 150 kilowatt supercharger, I already know that, we will just stay there for just enough to get to Lyngdal, which is the 250 kilowatt charger, which is the closest 250 kilowatt charger. So you know my strategy from all the road trips videos before. Always charge just enough to get to the next 250 kilowatt charger. Anyways, I'm eager to get on the road, so let's just mount the camera and go. The roof rack is a little bit noisy as we move up into the mountains and the wind hits the car. But yeah, that's the price you pay to have a roof rack really, unless you have a car that's super noise isolated, but Tesla ain't that. What a nice sunrise. The Tesla route planner estimates that we will arrive at the supercharger in Vikeså at 26% in about 8 minutes. It's not optimal to charge at 26%, but we will do it so we can reach the 250 kilowatts at a low state of charge to charge faster. I also hear some vibration from the roof rack since I think one of the screws or the cover to the screws were loosened and fell off. So I need to check that. It's not part of the critical fitment to the roof rack, but it's the aesthetic plate on the front. So yeah, I need to check that once we stop at the supercharger. The Tesla route planner estimates that we will be at the supercharger in 7 minutes, and we will arrive at 26%, which is way too much, but we will just charge there for, I don't know, 5 minutes, whatever we need to get to the 250 kilowatt charger that's not very far from here. We want to maximize our use of high-powered chargers at low state of charge to get to where we are going as fast as possible, since this is a very long trip. Now we are driving in 70-80 zones, and our current efficiency is 340 watt-hour per kilometer. It'll significantly reduce itself before we reach the motorway, but on the motorway I think we will actually get pretty bad efficiency due to this roof rack, due to the temperature. It's -4 outside right now, and it's also windy, so everything works against us, but we will try to get where we are going as fast as possible, and by optimizing high-powered charging, that means charging at a low state of charge at high power, we can get to where we're going as fast as possible in an electric car. It's also a little bit slippery, so we get lost there as well. It's actually an e-Golf right before us, which is super cool to see driving around these mountain roads. So lots of EVs on the roads there, even though it's cold outside, windy outside, slippery outside, lots of electric cars everywhere. So yeah, it works in conditions like these, so it'll work in most conditions for most people, in my opinion. What we do now is simply plot in our next charging stop. This is the fastest way, which is Lyngdal. That's the next 250 kilowatts. We need a 10 minutes charge here. I think we need less, so we'll just plug in at this 150 kilowatts and then go. Should get 142 kilowatts here. I'll just press continue trip just to see what percentage we are at the next supercharger. 1%. Let's get a little bit more than that due to the conditions and low efficiency 288 watt-hour per kilometer of this car. We're getting the maximum rate of 148 kilowatts. I just adjusted the camera a little bit and we are already at 37%, so we will arrive there with 8%, and I think that's more than enough. So I'll just unplug and we will go on our way. The roof rack is already very noisy. The roof platform, sorry, is already very noisy at around 80 kilometers per hour. So I'll be curious to see what kind of shenanigans this roof rack will be up to once we get on the highway and the 110 zone. It's whistling like crazy. I think it might be due to the loose little aesthetic plate that you have in the front, which kind of creates a whistle. Anyways, it's very noisy, and of course I did expect it to be kind of noisy. It's especially when you get like wind directions, different wind directions, of course from the front when you're driving, but also like throws of winds from the left and right, and yeah, I'll be curious to see how noisy it is on the motorway. And it'll be a very long stretch on the motorway as well, so I hope it doesn't get like super annoying. But yeah, that's the price you pay, of course, and you also pay with the lower efficiency number, which is now at 225 watt-hour per kilometer. We have driven 82 kilometers so far since we started the reset the trip meter. We have used 18 kilowatt hours, and we of course charged a little bit at the Vikeså supercharger, the version 2 supercharger. And now we will arrive in 48 minutes at the 250 kilowatts Lyngdal supercharger. A very nice place to stop. It has a lot of shops around and stuff. So yeah, that's why I choose that. In addition to it being 250 kilowatts, of course. Anyways, it estimated 8% on arrival, and now it estimates 5% on arrival, and that's completely normal behavior of the Tesla route planner. I'm on the new software, so it might be like a little bit different than I'm used to, but usually the Tesla route planner, it's very optimistic, then it gets a little bit pessimistic, and then it gets optimistic again. So we will probably decline a few percent more at the estimated percentage on arrival, but then it'll climb up again as we get closer, hopefully. We'll try to use drive as fast as is legal, and then get there very low state of charge, because then we will charge faster. There is no reason to arrive at a high state of charge other than, you know, keeping a safety reserve, of course, but it's no mountain passes here, and there are bailout options for charging at this location, so it should be fine. We are 11 kilometers away from the supercharger in Lyngdal. It estimates 2% on arrival. I've tried to burn off a little bit of energy, so and use it to get there, of course. And if we can arrive at like 2% state of charge, that's perfectly fine, and we will get a maximum charging of around 250 kilowatts for a little bit at least, and this will help us get on the road faster. We are at 4% state of charge and we have 8.6 kilometers left to the supercharger, and the car is preconditioning battery for fast charging. Usually it stops preconditioning if it thinks that we won't be able to make it, because you know preconditioning takes away range, of course, to get a faster charging speed. Still worth it, but it does take a little bit of range. But now it's preconditioning, it estimates 2% on arrival, which is a very nice state of charge for arrival. And we will see once we are there what the real state of charge is. We have to remember that the estimation from Vikeså, which was the first supercharger we stopped at, was 8% here. And that's completely wrong. So of course we have driven fast as is legal, and we have a roof rack and roof platform on the roof. It's also slippery and we use a lot of energy just to move this car. So that's something to keep in mind if you are driving at winter conditions with extra equipment on the roof. These are the slow ones that we drove through now. The version 2, the version 3 superchargers are actually hidden in all the way back here in this parking lot. So we will just drive over there, all the way in the end over here. Okay, let's plug in. Okay, 152 kilowatts, 165 kilowatts, 177, 185, 193, and we are at 250 kilowatts, 247, and already throttling just like we expect from our dear Tesla Model 3 long range. Anyways, we arrived at 2%. We will get a pretty fast charging curve, and it says 35 minutes remaining. That's of course if we charge to 80%. I doubt we will do that, but I do need to run in to buy some washer fluid and some quick snack to eat. Yeah, we will see what percentage we are at once we are back, but likely I'll just run in and buy washer fluid and then grab something to eat, and then we'll be ready to go immediately. And that's generally my experience with these Tesla charging stops. I'm already back from the store and we are at 62%, which is way too high state of charge actually. So we are going to Lillehammer. I'll just plug it in here. And I need to fill some washer fluid, and I bought some, let's see if we can find it, Salt X salt remover as well, to get a little bit clearer sight out the window here for you guys. That's just an additive, so yeah, I'll just add that now. There are a few more supercharging here, but still a lot of available places, but this is the hidden 250 kilowatt location. When you drive into this parking lot, you pass the V2 stalls, 150 kilowatts, and yeah, people just has a tendency to stop there and use those. Okay, we are at 75% already, and I haven't even waited for the car. I just filled some washer fluid and salt remover. So yeah, I will just unplug and we are ready to go again. I'm eating a pizza that I bought, by the way. Our efficiency so far is 208 watt-hour per kilometer, pretty high. We are now entering the highway, very soon. Like a 4-lane highway, so 2 lanes per direction. This will decrease our efficiency a lot. So I'm curious to see how much our efficiency will decrease. The speed on the highways in Norway is 110 kilometers per hour. This is the first facelift Tesla Model 3. If I had the 2019 Model 3, I think I would have heard the roof racks way more. It would actually have been disturbing if I had an older model, because this one is much better sound isolated. The next charging stop will be Brokelandsheia Supercharger. It's tried to route me to a closer one, but it's a 17% at Brokelandsheia, which is further away. So that's completely fine to just go for. 17% is more than enough. Now we are entering, this is a brand new highway in Norway. So actually there can't be anyone coming from behind right now, because the road just stops in a ditch. Here we have the newest 110 zone in Norway, so one of the newest ones. It's from Mandal to Kristiansand, the southern large city in the south in Norway. I can see a police car way over there. We will see what our efficiency will be like on these types of 110 zones, and they are a little bit off and on since they're building this road. You can see in Norway, when you have to build these roads, they are super expensive to build, because now we have a bridge and then we have to blow up the entire mountain like this just to build a road that is flat enough and it doesn't have too many curves, because there are limitations of how the curves can be when you have 110 kilometers per hour. There are bridges and then they blow up mountain, bridges then blow up mountain. There are almost no places where you can just simply lay down a road like in the United States, etc. So it must be 10-20 times more expensive to build roads here in Norway. And they have to meet a certain safety standard, which is much higher than 110 kilometers per hour as well. They are built very well. They have dividers for oncoming traffic. There are fences for wild animals so they don't enter the road. Everything is lit up at night. So yeah, pretty good roads, and this is one of the newest ones. Here you can see another part of the mountain that's just blown into pieces to get the highway through. And then immediately it's followed by a tunnel, which is extremely expensive to build as well. Now we are driving through Kristiansand. I don't know, the 4th largest city in Norway, maybe the 5th, something like that. It's like the main city in the south. Our efficiency is 212 watt-hour per kilometer. To compare it to the lifetime average of this car at 168 watt-hour per kilometer, it doesn't look all that bad, considering that it's 1 degree Celsius outside, and we have the roof platform on the roof, and we are driving at high speeds. Soon we will reach Winter Wonderland. I have the newest holiday updates, which includes the recall for autopilot, which federal government in the United States decided that Tesla needs more warnings on their autopilot software. And we also got this in Europe, so it's beeping at me even though I do hold my hands on the wheels and my eyes are on the road. So it's getting kind of annoying, but I feel like it doesn't need to beep if I'm doing everything correctly. It'll beep just to get my attention, and then my attention is off the road, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing. It just shows a little sign, keep your hands on the wheel or something. Even though I am, and I do know how you need to keep your hands on the wheel to get autopilot to not nag you, which is pressure on one side, not on both. Due to the slow-moving traffic here, it estimated 20% at the Brokelandseia supercharger, so I think we will skip that one, go to the next one, which is supercharger Bamble, which is a pretty new one. It's probably 2 years plus old now, but it's a version 3 supercharger, so 250 kilowatts. It's right by the road. Now we're cruising on the motorway once more. I'll just go through the stats since we won't stop here at the Brokelandseia. 211 watt-hour per kilometer. And someone is braking hard here, which is annoying. 211 watt-hour per kilometer, so really no difference since we have kept the same speeds. If you're towing with an electric car, you lose way more usually. Usually you lose way more, especially if you have an non-aerodynamic trailer, you'll lose way more than with this roof rack. You can see here speed camera ahead and also preconditioning since we are close to the version 3 supercharger. And this speed camera warning has been going off let's say 5 or 6 times since we started the trip. And it's very accurate. So here's the speed camera ahead, and now we drove through it and now it's gone. So it's very accurate, and yeah, it works at least here in Norway. 240 kilowatts and declining fast since this is a Tesla. Anyways, it's a very good speed considering the entire station is full, and there are some parked at the wrong locations since they have the charge port on different locations. And you can see that there are only 2 left, and those 2 are blocked, so it says a 5 minutes wait time. This is due to other cars like ID.4s and German cars in general, which has the charge port on the wrong side, so they will actually block a stall. This results in faster charging speeds for all others, since there are stalls that are not in use. Many people think that the V3 has 250 kilowatts max to everyone, and it doesn't. There are site limitations. So when everyone is plugged in, we will get, and everyone charges at high speed, we will get a lower speed for everyone really, or you will get a little bit of throttling. But when there are slow cars plugged in and cars blocking the other stalls, we can still get the full speed here. And now it says it's wait time, so let's just walk a little bit around and film a little bit and see how the station is. There are full stations everywhere, or high utilization at least, of the Circle K chargers and the Tesla ones. Okay, so here's a dilemma. We want to skip Oslo if we can, because there is a lot of superchargers that are full in the area, and all the superchargers in the Oslo area are kind of slow or full all the time. So we are going to drive up here. These are too close, these are too close. These are Lier and Lier South. Both have waiting time, which is insane. This one is 10 minutes waiting time. It's always crowded. That's the one inside the parking house. Kløfta is always full. 5 minutes waiting time. The next one is Gardermoen, which is the next one that's nice, but it's too far away, I think. Remove all charging stops. It's thinking very hard. We want to skip everything and go to Gardermoen. Oh, minus 17, that's that will take way too long to charge that much. Extremely full here. Okay, let's test them once more. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this and videos that are not like this, you can subscribe to this channel. I see a lot of people that watch my videos that don't subscribe, so please leave any feedback in the comments and I'll try to improve.